Welcome to Politics NY with Skye Behind the Curtain, where we're lifting the curtain behind the scenes of New York City government and politics. And today's episode is all about judges. We have city judges and civil judges and Supreme Court judges, and a lot of them are elected and appointed right here in New York City. And right now I'm with the supervising civil court judge, Shah Ally, right here from Manhattan. So let's get to know him a little bit and pick his brain all about judges.
Hi, Skye. Thank you for this opportunity. It's so great to be on this segment with you.
Yes, it's great to have you here, Shah. Now, tell us about your position and how you got there.
Sure. Judges, if you're not interested in judges, you should be interested in judges. We learned very long time ago when we were in school that there are three branches of government, right? The legislative, executive, and the judicial.
Judicial.
We're just as important, but we're mysterious. And Skye, it's appropriate that your show is called Lifting the Curtains, because in this segment we're going to lift the curtains. Who are judges and how do we get here?
Right.
You should know, everyone listening to this segment should know that there's three ways you get to become a judge, three primary ways in New York State. You could become elected, like I am out of New York County. You could be appointed to the bench by the mayor of New York City, or you could be appointed to the bench by the governor of New York State. Now, of course, we all look the same. You don't know how we got there, but as a voter, but as a citizen, you should know how we get there because it's very important. I was elected by the people of Manhattan. Judges are appointed or elected, and our duties are the same, and our mandate is the same. It's to be fair, impartial, and judge and adjudicate based on the law and the facts. Why we have two different systems? It's how our Constitution was set up.
So, Shah, couldn't someone say an elected judge could be biased because they're more partisan than an appointed judge?
No, not really, because unlike your other types of offices, elective offices, legislative offices, while we do have party affiliation, once you become a judge, you shed all of that. Once you
Mhm.
become a judge, you are no longer allowed to be involved in political activities. So you are to keep very close this sacred obligation to be fair and impartial. So even if you were elected, we all have this mandate that we take very seriously.
So, in your position, what are some cases like that come before your desk or bench?
Yeah. So when you're a judge, you really work at the pleasure of the court system. So I was elected to civil court, which makes you think, well, he was started in civil court. Except I started in criminal court in the Bronx, and I handled all types of criminal cases that you would see, right? Misdemeanor level, felony level, and then I was promoted to supervising judge of civil court. So supervising judge is an internal sort of promotion. The people didn't elect me, the governor or mayor didn't appoint me. It's the bosses within our court system. So now I run an entire courthouse. Our civil court is the crown jewel of our court system. It's the people's court. It's the closest that the people get to our judicial system, right? So one of the big things that we do here are consumer debt cases. You know, those credit card cases, or name changes. When you want to change your name, you come to civil court.
Oh, okay. So, what kinds of people want to know you and support you?
Yeah, I would think anyone who's civically minded. There's a lot going on in our politics today, and people want to get to know their legislators better. But I think you should also get to know your judges better, because when you have a chance to vote for judges, you're really putting someone into office for 10, 14 years. You want to know about their character, who they are, what they've done. You and I met through community work. You want to know that people are community minded, civic minded. So I hope folks start to think about judges not as the name on the ballot that we just check off and don't think about, but give it some real serious thought.
And then what comes after this? How do judges work their way up to become a very
Yeah.
well-known Judge Judy,
you know,
a
Judge
celebrity judge?
well, Judge Judy is a celebrity in and of herself, but here's a fun fact. Judge Judy was actually a judge, and she's married to a judge. But Judge Judy was a family court judge who was appointed by a mayor of New York City. So Judge Judy is an actual legit judge who now is a very popular judge. But within our court system, judges want to advance through supervisory positions like supervising judge, administrative judge, or you can advance through different types of cases, maybe the commercial division or matrimonial court. So there's different subject matters that you can get promoted to, or there are different kinds of supervisor roles, like I'm in now.
Look at that. now I understand a lot more. I feel like you explain everything really clearly and in such a short time.
Yeah, it's a very important job, and when we talk about branches of government, we are as important. Think about courts as where you solve problems, right? Whenever there's a problem, you come to court. Whenever you want to tell your story, you want to come to court. People have been quoting the court system forever. They just don't know. Whenever we say, for the record, I want to make a record, that's a court term. It means you want it to be memorialized. So whenever we deal with things like that, you're already thinking about the courts system. I just hope folks, that if you're listening to your show, that people really want to get involved in our court system.
This might be a random question, but the person in the court that take the stenographer like this, it
Yes,
almost looks like a typewriter, but it's not quite. What's she actually typing?
sure. It's a court reporter. Stenographer is correct, and they're taking the actual record, the transcription. So when you want a recording of what happened, you get these minutes, they called, right? So it's like a transcription of word by word of what happened. When we attend these community board meetings or any other type of meeting, someone probably has it on a tape recorder, right? Or you have someone taking minutes. This is different. This is a word for word. So that if there's ever a dispute in the future, it's not like Skye remembers this saying being said or Shah remembers this. You go to the record. So when
Mhm.
people say, "Hey, I want to make this for the record," just for the record, it wasn't me. That's
Right,
the record. When you're typing away, that's the record.
right. Okay. Anything else people should know in conclusion, all about judges in New York?
Pay attention to us. You put us in if you're elected, and you should have the same level of accountability that anyone else. So next time you see a judge in the corner trying to get a signature or want your vote, really put them to the task. If your vote matters to them, you should know about them.
Thank you, Shah Ally from the civil court system here in Manhattan. Thanks for being part of Politics NY with Skye Behind the Curtain.
Thanks, Guy.